Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how you can use your Cricut to cut your heat and bond for applique. You're going to open your Cricut design space and open up a blank canvas. From there, we're going to go to upload and upload image. And then you're going to find the file that you would like to upload. Press continue, upload. And there it is. I'm going to right click and ungroup everything. Then on the right hand side you can click the eye icon and hide all the other designs that you are not going to use. Now in the top you'll see where you can resize your design. I'm going to resize mine to 9.5 inches. You just want to make sure the little locked icon is locked. And then we're going to ungroup everything, and I'm going to just only have the pieces that I'm going to cut on the board. So I hid the cross because I didn't have room to cut that one. I'll have to do that one separately. And then just want to rearrange them on your board, keeping an eye on the size, how everything's going to fit on your mat. Then we're going to select all and attach. And now we're going to go over to make, and you could save it or not save it. I decided to save it. Okay, so this is how everything's going to fit right on our board. And we're going to hit continue. And I used the copy paper, the green mat. And then I had my rotary blade in, so I'm going to switch it out to the fine point. Since we're not cutting our fabric, we're just cutting the heat and bond. Then I put the paper side down, because if I did it the other way, it wouldn't stick. And we load it in. Hit start. And then it will start to cut. So this is kind of backwards from what I normally do, which is iron everything on and then cut it out. But this actually works really well if you have a lot of pieces, and it's helpful when you kind of don't know what fabric you're going to use. You can have everything cut to the size and then kind of find the scraps that fit, which I find super helpful. I actually really enjoyed using this method more than I thought that I would. Now you're just going to weed all the pieces off. You can use a little tool for this part if that's helpful. I also am going to label a couple of the pieces just so I remember which side they go on. So because I didn't have room for the cross, I'm going to go back to design space and we're going to cut the cross out. So we're going to hide all our pieces, and then we're going to unhide our cross and put it up on there and make, and just going to repeat the same steps. And we have our heat and bond. Paper side down. And then we're going to load it in and cut it out. Now you can decide which fabric you want to use and iron all of your pieces on. Don't forget, if your fabric has some good textures, you can iron your pieces onto the right side of the fabric. That way your applique will have some added texture. Now it's time to cut all of our pieces out. You're just going to follow right along all the cuts from the Cricut. Now that we have all of our pieces cut out, we're going to arrange them on our project. Every applique pattern from JKLM Designs comes with a detailed instruction page that explains how to assemble your pattern. For this pattern here, all our pieces are going to overlap on top of each other. I always like to fold my project in half to get the center before I iron everything in place. As you can see, mine was a little off center, so I'm just rearranging and rearranging again, making sure I like how everything is lined up. Once you have everything in place, you're going to want to press that really well. You don't want any pieces that are loose to make it harder to sew on. Then you're just going to take it to your sewing machine and sew around all the edges. I like to change thread colors and kind of match as closely as I can just so it blends in a little bit more. You're going to iron and sew everything on by layers. So my first layer was the background sunset, and now I'm going to come back and repeat the same steps for the cross, and then finally I will do the heart. Just to make things look a little bit cleaner, I like to take my duck-billed scissors and just go around the edges just to clean it up a bit. And finally, I will take the paper backing off the heart and I will press that into place and sew it on. I like to use a straight stitch to sew on my applique pieces, but there's a ton of other stitches you can do and kind of play around with. And here's the final look. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.